Hello, wonderful people. Coming to you today to talk about a terrible habit that most of us have, and that's rushing into fixing a problem. I do this all the time. My wife attests to it, and so do you. This is something that I don't know if it's because of our society or our culture or just our family structures or what, but we love fixing problems. And that really gets in our way of, especially when we're creating personal change, when we're trying to change ourselves, it really does get in the way of creating long lasting outcomes. Where's this coming from? Most of us identify what we want, we identify the obstacles that are standing in our way, and then we go try and tackle those obstacles with as much energy as we can muster. And that generally works great for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. And we're all really used to seeing this in January for New Year's resolution time, but we all do it all the time. We are just dead set on fixing a problem without understanding why that problem exists for us. And this is the real work of doing personal change. Is to understand why the problem is there. It's not there for no reason. Every problem you have is in your life because at some point that problem, behavior, emotion, pattern, whatever, served a purpose. And until you understand what that purpose that it served was or is, you won't actually change it. If I really, really want to stop drinking, for instance, but the only way that I can create social connections with friends and stuff is through drinking. I can say I want to quit drinking all I want, but the likelihood of me doing it for more than a couple of weeks is really low because then I lose my social network. It's called our secondary gain to our behavior. And as soon as we recognize that, we're able to create some alternatives that serve those secondary gains or those deeper needs. And once we identify those alternatives, then we start to be able to create some meaningful change and some meaningful progress towards our goals. But we can only do that if we understand where they come from, why they exist, and what purpose they're serving so that we can find those alternatives. So the invitation for you today is to pay attention to one of the problems or one of the things you're trying to change in your life. And instead of immediately coming up with a plan of action to resolve it and to fix it and to get better, instead, spend a little time exploring why this is your problem. Why don't you want to wake up every morning? Instead of just setting your alarm earlier and telling yourself it's going to happen, understand why you hate waking up early so much. If you're in a relationship that you're trying to fix, instead of trying to figure out how to make them change, understand what you get out of this relationship. Who knows what you'll come up with? It's a really fun experiment. It can be a little painful on occasion. You have to be real and honest with yourself. But the impact and the long-term outcomes you get from understanding your problems and your behaviors that you're trying to change before actually instituting a plan of action is immeasurable. So that's the invitation. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.